Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3 of Humanities 104. I've already seen some homework uploaded into my IoT, a couple of resumes and applications, and that's great. If you can get your work in early, it'll make your life that much easier. Today, I just want to talk about where we are, where you should be by this time, and the homework you should be working on, and when it is due. So, if you were to look at the outline for week 3, and let me turn to that. I've got everything on hard copy here. If you look at the outline for week 3, you'll see class discussion, compassion, and knowledge. In previous weeks, there was integrity, professionalism, etc. You want to look at these handouts and PowerPoints and familiarize yourself with the information that's being presented. This kind of information may be helpful to you as you're working on your critical thinking research paper. So that's something to keep in mind. I will go over a couple of things from week 2 and bring you up to speed for week 3. In your outline, it does tell you that you need to be thinking about your resume, cover letter, and job application. And those rough drafts are due next week, next Wednesday, April 8th. And they need to be uploaded into my IoT. If you have any problems or issues with that, please contact me and I'll see what I can do to support you and help you through that. Also, you'll find that due week 6 is the ATI Self-Assessment Inventory Web. So what you want to do is take a look at that and get started on that between now and week 6. It needs to be completed by week 6. There's another assessment, critical thinking entrance assessment. You won't find that in ATI yet. I'm working with Sean and Bonnie, and we'll make sure that that becomes available to you as soon as possible. I'll have more information for you hopefully this week on that. But for today, I just want to quickly go over what's in my IoT. If you go into my IoT and you go to week 2 for Humanities 104, this is what you're going to find. You are going to find something about the critical research paper and the critical thinking research paper. And this gives you instructions for that paper, which again is due week 6. And the date on that would be 4/15, that Wednesday of week 6. This paper is to be typewritten, 2 to 3 pages, and that doesn't include the cover page and the reference page. It needs to be an APA format. That's American Psychological Association format. Not familiar with that? Don't worry. We've got a template for you and a sample essay that explains everything you need to know about APA formatting for this course and to get through this program. We don't expect you to become experts in APA formatting, especially in the first term, but we want to introduce you to these concepts and ideas so that you'll be able to use them going forward. The paper should include 3 main points. You want to answer the question, what is critical thinking? Why is critical thinking essential in your educational journey? And finally, why is critical thinking essential to the nursing practice? So you want to think about these things. You want to do some research to get some information, maybe some good quotes from a nurse or another practitioner that would support the points that you are trying to make in your paper. The paper will be graded per an attached rubric according to these instructions. And I believe I made that rubric available to you. I will check. If not, I will make sure that that gets available to you. I can always scan it and put it into my IoT if necessary. And it needs to be, as I said, completed by the 15th. So you'll also find just basically a template for this essay. And you need to think about this probably as like a typical 5-paragraph essay like you did in high school, hopefully. You'll have an introductory paragraph. You'll have 1 or 2 paragraphs about answering that question, what is critical thinking? Then another paragraph, maybe two, of why is critical thinking essential in your educational journey. And then a third paragraph answering the question, why is critical thinking essential in your nursing practice? And then you'll have a concluding paragraph. So you can see how it would follow that typical 5-paragraph format. But if you want to expand on your ideas and have additional paragraphs, that's great. This is just a nice way for you to organize yourself as you gather your thoughts. And this will make for a more organized paper. Now, in my IoT, under week 2, you will also see a sample essay. And it's just a very loose example of what a paper would look like, and it tells you about APA formatting as you go through it. So, for instance, if you are using a quote from another author that is more than 40 words, then you have to set that off and indent that as a block quote. And there's an example of that here in this sample essay. So you have examples in the information as far as how you would need to format something, all right here. And then there's also the concluding paragraph as well, and an example of a reference that was quoted in the paper and is listed on the references page. This should always be the last page of your essay, where you list any of the sources that you are using to convey your information. Another thing you're going to find in week 2 is citations and references. And this gives you all kinds of information and helpful hints on how to set up that references page. There's also some information such as when to cite someone else. You want to cite those works that have directly influenced your work or your thinking on this topic. It's meant to support the points that you are trying to make. I think critical thinking is important because bum, bum, bum. And so, who is a doctor at Johns Hopkins, agrees with me. They say, and then you could use that quote to support your point, because they are a credible source. And along those lines, too, I want to talk about where you're getting your information. Wikipedia is not a really helpful source. It's helpful, but it's not credible. And it's constantly evolving and changing because anybody can make input into that particular citation in Wikipedia. You want to look at the American Medical Association website. You want to look at nursing websites like Oregon State Board of Nursing, perhaps, or something like that. You want to go to credible sources. Johns Hopkins University would be a great resource. Okay? You can also look in our online library, which is in My IoT, and you can look for resources there through the Gale, G-A-L-E, Gale search engine. And it should be able to help you find peer-reviewed articles and articles from reputable sources about critical thinking in the nursing profession. And that may help you as well. So there are some resources there. You want to avoid plagiarism. You will not find plagiarism accepted anywhere on any college campus, and can also be very damaging to a professional's reputation if they are found to have plagiarized. And this is when you are using someone else's ideas and presenting them as your own. So, for instance, if you look up a great resource, you find a quote that you like, and you present it in as if you were saying that, rather than citing the source itself, so-and-so, a doctor at Johns Hopkins said this, then that's plagiarism. And you want to avoid that. You want to make sure you give proper recognition to the people whose ideas you're presenting. You also want to look at the Citations and References sheet in week 2 in My IoT for Humanities 104. It talks about how to quote things and format the quotes. It gives you all kinds of information on what if it's one author, two authors, multiple authors. And it also will tell you how to list these things in your references page. So take a good look at that. There's a lot of information there. It's just meant to be a reference. And don't overthink this, please. If we can get the basics down and you have a good paper that's well reasoned and has good information in it, that's going to be a good paper. Okay, don't get too hung up on the APA formatting, but follow it as closely as you can. It is in the rubric, and it will be part of what will be graded. Okay. I think that takes care of what was available. Oh, one other thing, in week 2, you will find soft skills, a list of what are soft skills versus hard skills. In a nutshell, hard skills are those practical skills that you are going to be learning here. All kinds of lab skills, injections, immunizations, catheterization, direct patient care, etc. Those are hard skills. Soft skills are more subjective, and they're things like critical thinking, your ability to work on a team, your attention to detail, your respect for others, your self-discipline and work ethic, etc. Those are the kinds of things that are your soft skills, your people skills, and how well you get along with others. That's important, and it's an important distinction to think about as you're doing your resume, because you will be listing skills, and you want to make sure that you make it obvious, these are my hard skills, these are my soft skills, and we'll be talking about that throughout the term. Now, if you go on to week 3, the week we are now in, and you are in My IoT for Humanities 104, you are going to find there the template for the job application that's due next week. So you want to fill that in and then upload it to My IoT. This is going to be a great resource for you too, because every time you have to fill out an application, you've already got all the information in one place. So this is going to be very helpful to you to use as a reference every time you have to fill out an application. And believe me, we all had to fill out a lot of those in our time. You're also going to find a template for the resume itself. And what's really cool about this is you can click on the different sections, and it's like a template. You'll be able to just put in the content that you need for each area, almost paint by numbers. So when you have the space for your clinical experience, you can go ahead and fill that in as it becomes available. Your professional experience, your skills and education. There are places for you then to fill in that information. You want to follow this template, and this is going to be your resume in process for the entire time that you're here at IoT. We are working to prepare you for 4th term, when this is going to be very important to you. Okay. Also due, besides the job application and the resume, is the cover letter. And again, this is paint by numbers. Click here to enter text. Boom, you enter your name. Click here to enter text. You enter your address and contact information, etc. And this is all in a block letter format. Now, there are some great examples online if you have any questions of block letter formatting. And actually, this template is in block letter formatting. At the top, you're going to put in your contact information. And then below that, you're going to put in the contact information of the organization that you wish to address this to. So pick a hospital or a clinic and use that as your model and punch it in there. Also with block letter, it's important to remember that you don't indent paragraphs. They're all one block. So you'll have the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph without any indentations. And then you end it with your signature, sincerely, your signature. And again, there's a space on the template for you to just click on it and fill in the information. It's really easy. I hope you all realize that this is going to be a relatively easy class for you. Just get the work done, turn it in on time. You'll have no problems in this class. Probably the most challenging thing that you're going to be working on, one of them is going to be that research paper. So luckily, I've been a writing instructor in the past. So if you have any questions or concerns about the paper, please let me know. Contact me and we can talk about that over email. I am hoping to get onto Zoom sometime soon here, once I get everything organized for this class, and then perhaps we can all get together one-on-one this month that way. So we'll see how that goes. The rest of this week, you want to look at the information on knowledge and compassion. Make sure that you are familiar with all the work that needs to be done. And let me just look at my notes here real quick, make sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover with you. We talked about soft skills, hard skills, block letter. All the templates are due. And in that ATI self-assessment that's going to be due week 6, and you'll want to start looking at that, go into ATI, click on My ATI, and there are several blocks with modules in them. One is called, I think that was it was in Test. So click on Test, and then you'll see Self-Assessment Inventory, and that's what you want to work on. The Critical Thinking and Entrance Assessment is not available yet. As I said, I'm working on that, and I will update you as that becomes available. I think I've covered pretty much everything I intended to cover today. If you have any questions, please email me and I will respond as soon as possible. If I think of anything else, I will upload another video or send you an email with some more details. So be watching your email for any information coming from me. And I wish you all much luck on your work on your resume and cover letter and job application. And you want to start researching and writing down your notes for your critical research paper. Don't leave that until the last minute, because then it's going to be a real challenge. Especially with the formatting, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to look at that. And if you're not familiar with it, to become more comfortable with it. Okay, look at the material in My IoT, because that's all we really expect from you as far as the APA formatting, and all the information you need for this assignment is there. Okay, thank you all very much. I hope you're getting by. I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all spending some good time with your families. And please feel free to contact me if you have any questions at all. Take care, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye-bye.